Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So like I mentioned in the past couple of videos, it is busy season for me during work, so like I mentioned, videos are going to be kind of sporadic. I don't know if I said anything concrete about it, but plan currently right now is for read-throughs to resume closer to the end of April, start of May sometime, just because I'm super busy with work. And I don't want to risk myself burning out again by kind of stretching myself too thin. And I still have to play catch up with Alita and a bunch of other stuff I'm doing read-throughs for. So you have to bear with me until I get caught up on those until I get through this season. But in the meantime, I'm still going to try to keep current with at least the Shonen Jump stuff for the next month or so. It might turn out that I'm going to try to do it every other week instead of every week, depending on how busy work is and how tired I am from that. But I'm going to try to keep current at least with that so I don't fall behind further on that. But read-throughs will have to wait for a while until things cool down enough for me to be able to kind of focus my full attention on those. So really appreciate your patience with that. With that said, like I mentioned, we're going to get around to Shonen Jump this weekend. So we're going to catch up with Akane-Banashi, Kaiju, and Spy Family. There's also a new chapter of Goku Rakugai, I believe, coming out tomorrow. So either expect a chat video to drop when the chapter does, or sometime midweek or next weekend. I'm not really sure. I haven't decided yet. I'm really looking forward to the next chapter of that. It's a really good series. So looking forward to the new chapter. The monthly wait has been killing me. But with that said, as always, if you like my content, please do consider commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff, especially now because there was a recent little thread going around on Twitter talking about some statistics and stuff that was released. So it's basically pointing out that it's actually super hard to promote content of any kind unless you already have a massive following, because Twitter just suppresses the hell out of any external links from their site. So if you want to keep current with my content, if you like and appreciate what I do, please do hit all those buttons. It really does mean a lot to me, and it really does help me out a lot. It'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, so without further ado, let us get into it with Akane-Banashi, Story 56, She's Here, with story by Yuki Suenaga, art by Takamasa Moe, with Rakugo supervision by Kiki Hayashiya, translation by Stephen Paul, and lettering by Asnir Aran. So we have the Arakawa School Zenza Renseikai, the entrance on July 29th, 10 entrance on July 29th, 8 on July 30th. Each has a 15-minute slot with no restrictions on story choice. The only element of the performance being judged is storytelling skill. And you see as one of these Zenza finishes their performance. Oh, it's Kendama. That's Tama-chan from the last chapter. Finishes his performance, and as he's walking off to a slow clap, 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 you see reporter bro, whose name I have not bothered memorizing, and his colleague going, "Senpai, that guy was such a Rakugoka, despite having just joined." He's like, "What's that supposed to mean?" And she's like, "I thought Zenza was basically the period to train and learn how to be a Rakugoka, so I figured he wouldn't have that much skill." And you see, so it's Zenza Apprentice, Zenza Futatsume, and then Shinichi. And you have the Arakawa School puts a lot of effort into bringing up new talent. Their Zenza are an embarrassment of riches. And she goes, "So the selection process for the 4-person event should be intense." And he's like, "Nah. In the past, Kaisei stuck out from the crowd as the obvious winner." And he's like, "And this year, she's here." And you see in the back room with Akane being like, "Tama-chan, good?" He's like, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong?" He's like, I was focusing so hard, my mind just went wild partway through. It was just so wild, so wild. He's like, "What's with all the self-doubt?" And Kaichi's like, "It was a strong performance, very emotional." He's like, "I think you deserve a T-Ward." Oh my god. Is this going to be the pun guy? Is this the guy's going to be making terrible puns? He's like, "I think you deserve a T-Ward for that." It's like, "A cup for you too, Akane?" He's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have." He's like, "I'm the type of person who just can't sit still. I feel better when I'm doing something for others, so don't mind me." And as he's going around handing tea out to the others, Akane is like, "Kaichi's such a hard worker." And Tom was like, "It's the former salesman in him." He's like, "Have you calmed down a bit?" It's like, "Yeah, thanks." And he's like, "You're up 8th, Akane? Have you talked with the people before you?" He's like, "Oh, right. I was hoping to get to know them a little better." It's like, no, I mean about stories. She's like, stories? And she thinks back to Shady Snake Eyes bro. I cannot remember his name. It's been too long. Telling her in a full lineup, a Zenza can basically only perform Zenza-Banashi. And you have Tama going, almost all the stories at the Rensaika are Zenza-Banashi. While the purpose of this event is to assess the Zenza, telling the same story as the person before you, or even telling one that's just similar, is frowned upon, just like at a regular show. And you see one's doing the Scared of Manju's ones, and another one's going, mind if I do Former Dog? It's like, go right ahead. It's like, if you don't have a wide repertoire, you should check with the other performance about what they're doing first. And you see, first one is doing Praising Children is Hyakuzen, then Jugumu is Kendama, then Suru is Ichimaru, then you have Taiko Belly is Ishun, you have Scared of Manju is Zenosuke, you have Former Dog is Kenta, and Worth a Drink is Shonosuke. And Akane is like, Taiko Belly is a male geisha story, Suru is a faking knowledge story, can't do Sengo, Jigi, or Tenshiki, and fetching tea is too long for a 15-minute slot. I'd run out of stories to do before I even go on. And then she just smiles like, if this were back then. It's like, I really owe Karashi my gratitude. It's like, let my gratitude beams reach. She's like, gratitude beams, like, yeah. Karashi is a sneaky looking bro's name. And you see Karashi's like, grrr. It's like, I just haven't been resting on my laurels. Since the Rokumekai, I've been getting lessons from many different teachers. See, this is exactly what I was kind of just talking about in the last chapter when I finished it. I mentioned that Akane is the series that really would benefit from like a little bit of like cool down time, or like the slice of life stuff where you see Akane just kind of, learning more stories, like improving her craft and her skill. Because I feel like it would do a lot to kind of subside the criticism I have, like where I'm like, she doesn't really struggle or face any kind of barriers in her craft so far. She's kind of just been like overcoming like all the hurdles placed between her and her dream like relatively easily. And this chapter having that be pushed from the side with her being like, oh, I've been doing like story training and stuff in my free time, kind of just like grates on me a little bit, because I'm like, that's what I want. I want to see that. I don't want to see that off screen. I want to kind of see that in the story. And while I kind of understand like why they don't want to do it, it's kind of like, I feel like the story really does need that. But we'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, it's just kind of funny because I just literally was finished talking about the last chapter with that. But you see Akane, which is like, plus she's playing cards, like pulling out one. She's like, and now I have 10 stories under my belt. At this point, I have the ability to weigh the mood of the audience before making a play for my hand. And you see how she's drawing the cards, like her choice, Hirabayashi. And you have reporter bro going, I see. After a sequence of high-octane performances, this one is easier on an audience tired of laughing. It's the same approach she used with the Karaku Cup, and the way that she delivers it is warm and enveloping. So is Hirabayashi the one where the guy finds like the money pouch on the beach? I can't remember what the stories were. It's been like too long, just kind of doesn't sit in my mind, but yeah, doesn't really matter. It's like, and the way that she delivers it is warm and enveloping, just like Master Hasho's comforting style. She knows how to push or pull depending on the listener, and she's broadened her range after what she learned in the Rokumekai. Just as I predicted, she's bound to be the one chosen for the 4-person event. And he's like, why are you spacing out? Look, it's cheating. It's like, huh? It's like, there's an old man at this event for up-and-comers. Alright, I saw the next page. We'll talk about it at the end. It's like, you're right, but he's only been in the school for 2 months. It's like, huh? So he's newer than the second boy? It's like, does he know what he's doing? I don't want to see a grown adult embarrass himself. You see in the back of Akane being like, that hits the spot. It's like, thanks for the water. It's like, you want to go listen to Kaiichi's performance with me? It's like, and you hear a giant roar, I assume of laughter from the performing area. And you have a, huh? And you see, the audience is just roaring with laughter. And you see the other Zen's like, you serious? He's like, I'm sorry for what I said. I'm so sorry. It's like, this much of a reaction after just 2 months? Who is Kaiichi? And you have Tama going, I was going to tell you. God damn. Oh, shit. That's good. That is good. Kaichi is the first person since Kaisei Anisan to be accepted as Master Isha's pupil. That is good. You know, the entrance of this unexpected challenger instantly changed the atmosphere, but that was not all. Jiva, what? It's like on the first day of the Zenzarin Saikai. It's like, Senpai, look! It's like the person who garnered more attention than any other was. Nice. And you see Akane's in the back. She's like, Hikaru? And she sees little Miss Blondie in the back in the performer's room. So yeah. Alright, so I guess quick thoughts on the chapter. So, again, like I knew there was some kind of twist that was going to be coming with the reporter bro going like, oh, you know, she's here. Like, oh yeah, you know, there's going to be an obvious winner in the Kaisei Cup. Like, oh, you know, Akane's here, and Akane just being like so overconfident with her being like, oh, I've learned 10 stories. Like, oh, like all this training I've put in, like this one's in the bag. And I like that because Kaiichi was so unassuming that I think Akane just kind of dismissed the fact that he was unassuming, and the fact that he's so new to Rakugo, I think kind of made Akane dismiss him as a threat. So I think that was a very kind of effective reversal for having Akane go on and be like, oh, you know, I'm going to do a story that's not going to make two people laugh too hard because, you know, I don't want to, because everyone else tried that trick. I'm like, I'm going to do something different to try to get like a different response. And then having Kaiichi go out there instead and just win them over with a comedic performance like that. That was a very excellently done reversal. So that was just phenomenally done. Very good work. And I like the reveal that apparently, apart from Kaisei, he's the only one to be accepted as Isho's pupil. Because again, as a character moment, that just kind of sets up so many good expectations. And the fact that Hikaru is also the one that, you know, is garnering more attention. I like both of those kind of like, God, what the hell am I looking for? I like that both of those bombs kind of dropped at the end of this chapter because I feel like that was a very, very effective reversal. Because up to that point, the chapter was kind of slow paced. It wasn't like, it was kind of like pondering along, and it kind of just instantly got your attention again. So very, very well done. Again, I don't know, on the one hand, I feel like, you know, kind of off-screening Akane's training, kind of showing how she's become a little bit overconfident again, helps set up the effectiveness of that reversal, and helps land the impact of that more effectively. But I also don't think it completely cancels out my criticism regarding that, where it's like, you know, I still wish we saw more of those moments in the series. But yeah, we'll see. Because right now, again, given how every other arc is played out with how effortlessly Akane has like surpassed the barriers that been put ahead of her, if this arc doesn't have her failing to become part of the top four, I feel like it really undermines the effectiveness of this chapter specifically. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing these two specifically as new rivals that Akane has to compete with. On what their specific skills and stuff are going to be. So yeah, with regards to that, really excited. Looking forward to where the next chapter is going. So like I mentioned at the beginning, read-throughs will be back sometime at the end of the month. I'll do a proper channel update with that once we get closer to the date. But like I mentioned in the meantime, I will still try to catch up with Shonen Jump. It might be that I do the videos every other week. Just because I think Akane is the only weekly series I'm covering right now. Because both Spy Family Kaiju are both bi-weekly series, and Goku Rakugai is monthly. So just to kind of avoid burnout, to make sure I'm not going to hurt myself too badly with that, I might do bi-weekly reactions, catching up on Shonen Jump stuff. We'll see how I feel, how the next couple of weeks shake out. But yeah, like I mentioned, read-throughs will be coming back soon. It's taking a minor break. That'll be about it. With all that said, like I mentioned at the beginning as well, if you like my content, please do consider like, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Especially now that we've learned that, Twitter really is kind of a shit show for trying to promote content in any regard. So if you want to stay up to date on what's happening with the channel, what videos are dropping, subscribing to it is the best way. Subscribing is the best way. And if you like my content, like, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff, lets me know you like it. Gives me the motivation to keep going, and it really means a lot to me as a creator. So until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.